2 goals in the last 11 minutes from Taunton Town's Craig Herod consigned Wimborne Town to a 2-1 defeat here at Wordsworth Drive this afternoon. An unfortunate result for Wimborne, who had battled hard all through the game. With injuries and illness decimating Steve Cuss's squad and forcing him to do without Sam Griffin, Adam Costello, Matt Kemble and John Blake, he gave first team debuts to Louis Kellaway and Ant Waters, starting debuts, and Tom Biles came into the defence alongside Billy Maybury. Taunton have been on a great run recently, and they started well. They're fast, quick moving and sharp passing, dominated the game for the first 15 minutes, but then Wimborne got into it and the rest of the first half was fairly even. Anthony Waters showing up very well on the left hand side, and his speed and quick feet were giving the Taunton defence some trouble. Nothing at half time though, but a shock for the home side when in the first minute of the second half it was young Ant Waters who was delivered the ball on the corner of the 6-yard box, and his left foot shot high up into the net past the goalkeeper's outstretched right hand put the Wimborne men 1-0 up. In 51 minutes, Billy Maybury was involved in some lovely work down the left, beating a couple of men and cutting it back, but it came to nothing. That was an isolated incident though, because at that time Taunton were pretty much on top and Wimborne under pressure, although Jason Harville hadn't been called on to make that many saves in the game. On 57 minutes there was a flare-up in midfield, and what had been a very, very well-mannered and good-tempered game, I think a tackle from James Stoker was taken exception to, and there was a reaction, and at the end, after quite a long delay as the referee sorted out both teams, James was given a yellow and one of the Taunton men was given a yellow. I thought the referee had a good game today, by the way, played well. 79 minutes came the equaliser. Craig Herod found on the left, and a good left foot shot beat Jason Harville to his left hand side. Steve Cuss brought on Chris Wilcox for Ant Waters in 81 minutes, but it was 2 minutes later that Herod struck for the winner. He was put. Jason Harville made a good save from a shot, but when it was pushed out, there was Herod to put the ball into the net past him. And despite the referee playing 7 minutes of added time, for some reason Wimborne couldn't get back on terms. So a 2-1 defeat for the Magpies today, but in my opinion nothing to be ashamed of at all. I thought considering the wind, Wimborne had it in the first half, Taunton in the second half, and the state of the pitch, which was okay but a bit cut up in places. This was a very good, entertaining game of football, particularly in the first half. A weakened Wimborne team have got nothing to be ashamed about. The youngsters played extremely well, Louis Kellaway and Ant Waters. And my man of the match for Wimborne, Billy Maybury, who had an outstanding game. Next up for Wimborne, in 2 days' time at home to North Lee, and then another home game next Tuesday against Freetown. We hope to see you at one of those. Yeah, I've got Steve with me after today's defeat at Taunton. Steve, absolutely nothing to be ashamed of there. We came up against a good team. I thought our young lads did extremely well.
Yeah, no, the performance was excellent. You know, obviously the disappointing thing is the result because of the 2 relatively late goals. But the performance was terrific. And, you know, we were up against a team that was absolutely flying high. I mean, they've lost for a couple of months, and I thought we defended really well. And up to that point, they didn't really look like they were going to score unless a ball fell to them from a set play. So, you know, disappointed that we didn't quite see it over the line, but as you say, terrific performance and full credit because there was a few young boys out there today.
Yeah, so let's talk about them then. I mean, the one that caught the eye more in the first half was probably Ant Waters on the left hand side. He's got pace, he's got good feet.
He's got exactly that. You know, he's left-footed, which is always it's a nice balance to the side. You can get your left footer out there, but he's got terrific pace and he's got real good technical ability, and I think you saw that on the goal. It was a little half chance, really, no more than a half chance, and you know, he's buried it into the top corner, and we saw it all afternoon. His pace up running at defenders. It was a real threat, and there's bits of his game that we'll work on, and he'll get an understanding as he comes into senior football. But you know, it was a great first start from him today. Outstanding.
18 years old.
He's 18 years old. Yeah.
It can only get better.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And you gave another start to Louis Kellaway in midfield alongside James Stoker, and he didn't let him do it.
Again, I think his type of performance goes a lot of people look at it and say, well, he didn't do that much, but he did a lot of ground, he covered a lot of ground, intercepted passes, he was clever when he got the ball in terms of his passing, and he did a lot of that ugly side of the work that, like I say, a lot of people don't see. And for a 17-year-old boy, he's only 17, showed real intelligence, and you know, he can be proud of his performance as well.
And then the third one, you brought Chris Wilcox on late on. We've seen him play for the under-18. He's one for the future.
Yeah, definitely. It was a decision whether to play all three of them today or two of them, and I edged with the two of them, and because of the shape really, rather than the personnel. But Chris is another player for the future. He's a terrific striker who's got good pace and an eye for goal, and you know, why he's currently with us, he'll get opportunities.
I mean, anyone looking at this will think maybe Taunton had 90% of the game and it was backs to the wall. You said the defence played well, and it did. But I thought some of the football we played in the first half was as good as any we've played this season. On the ground, to man, quick stuff. It was good. We've
made a real conscious effort in the past two games to really get back to where we were doing and what we were doing at the start of the season, playing short, nice, intricate passing. And you know, I go back now to the Oxford game. I think it knocked a bit of stuffing out of us, and we've just been shell-shocked by that a little bit. So it was real back to basics in the game against Bashley and the one today in terms of our attacking play, having the confidence and no fear of making a mistake, pass it to the nearest player and try and create something. And it was a terrific goal that we scored, because it was we won the ball back high up, and then it was a couple of short passes to get Ant in for his finish. So you know, I want us to carry on playing that way. It's the only way I want to see us play. So you know, we'll keep trying that.
I'll pick out one player who for me was man of the match. I thought Billy Maybury was absolutely outstanding.
Yeah, I think he's been outstanding for a number of games now. I've got to say, he came to us as centre half, and as I said before, I think you learn your trade a little bit in senior football, and he might have done that via substitute appearances and then playing in the full-back position. And you know, ever since he's gone back into that centre half, he's been terrific for us. And you know, his cover and his defensive play was again a real highlight today.
I watched the players come off at the end of the pitch and applauded them off. They were all extremely disappointed, and that's the attitude you want, isn't it?
Yeah, you know, there's no complaints for the players at all. You know, they've given us a real shift out there, a tremendous amount of effort as they do, you know, week in and week out. So, you know, the problem is that one or two of them have got to go and play again on Saturday. Yes. So it's a quick recovery. So you can see probably, you know, behind us they're doing a bit of a cool down, trying to get ready for Saturday. But you know, once again, full credit to the players. They've got a real effort and real shift in, and you know, if we're being honest, they deserve something out of the game.
Thanks very much for your time.
Thank you.
Cheers.